The Contest, Chapter 2. I wake up thinking, I'm safe. Oh, I forgot about my leg. It's dark. I reach down to feel my leg. I can't see. Wait a minute. Bandages? Where am I? I'm not in the hearse. Not again. I've been cleaned up and bandaged up, but I'm in a cell. It's a nicer cell. I look out the window and see walls, and beyond the walls I see trees. And the town's beyond that. I must be inside the compound. The building where the monsters came from. The compound. Group A were going to the compound. I wonder who made it here. I look out of my cell through the door. It's a huge parking lot. I see what looks like scientists sitting in their cars. A van is turned over, and I see Plex and Charlie on the ground. A buzzer sounds. A door opens, and out walks Quincy. He runs past all the other cells, looking in all of them. He looks through the ones on the left, then the ones where I am. Another buzzer sounds. Teddy comes out, but just stands there. Then all of our doors open, and out comes Max, Matt, Rick, Scott, Chang, Indy, Chris. I didn't see him before. Sin. That's it? What happened to Woody and Mindy and Alex, Irene, and Candace? Did they die? I run to a car. There's a scientist inside. He doesn't respond. Quincy and Chang go to a van, but the ones inside don't respond. Plex and Charlie wake up and go to a car with a female scientist inside. They open the door and pull her out. She's like alive but asleep, awake but drugged. No response. They search her coat and find a badge. Max goes over to the control box and the rack of guns. Both have locks on them. He presses a button and the control panel opens but asks for a key card. Hey, Rick is a computer whiz. Maybe he can help out. Rick was freaked out. This is not what he expected. He looked out of his mind. He went up to the control box and smashed it. Hey, what are you doing? Said Max. You smashed it. Now we can't get out. Those other cells have monsters in them, said Quincy. Rumble, rumble. A door opened, I said. But the cell doors that were closed didn't open. Then I heard the growling and breathing of dogs like before. I left the safety of my cell and ran over between the cars in front of the cell. Plex and Charlie were there. I told them what I had heard and suspected. Then I ran and hid behind the turned-over van. I didn't see anything, but I could hear their breathing. The wall. There behind me, the wall ended, and here they came, surrounding me. I was surrounded. I pulled out my machete and started whacking. I took out one, but there were 8 of them. Plex came over with a combat knife and started on one, but I still had 4 around me and 4 around him, or around them. 1 dead and 1 fighting Plex. Buzz, 2 giant bears came out of the cells across the way, but instead of fur they had quills like a porcupine. They were 8 feet tall and wore gold chains around their necks. What kind of joke is this? Finally, after about 15 minutes, Plex and I finished off the dogs. While resting, 2 scientists walked towards us. Hey, what's going on here? They looked afraid and ignored me and kept walking. Plex followed them and pushed them from behind. Hey, we're talking to you, he said. They didn't respond. They walked around the wall, and we followed, thinking they were going out through a door or something. But they stopped. Now here's the wall. This is where all the stuff's going on, and they walked this way to go down. So that's where we followed them. And the bears came somewhere out of here. So but they stopped. Impatient, Plex attacked one, and they fought back. And I couldn't let them kill Plex, even though he's an idiot. So I helped, and we killed both of them. But during the fight, one called out with a scream, like a horrible scream, like he was communicating to another creature. It was weird. We checked them for weapons. Nothing. We tried to open the door to no avail. The others on the other side of the wall were fighting the bears. Chris was killed by a zombie. They finally killed the bears, and Chang took out one, while Max and Matt, with Indy and Teddy, killed the other. I decided to help out, but before I could, we were attacked by 3 chameleons, so to speak. They were invisible creatures with claws, and they liked to bite. I killed one, and Plex killed one, and then both of us together finally killed the last one. But one of them bit me, and I was bleeding. So I ran, hoping to make it to either a car or a cell before I passed out from blood loss. When I woke up, because I did pass out, my machete was gone. Matt was a medic, which I found out just now, and had saved me. And Chang caught up with Plex. Plex had looted my body, and Chang stripped him of his weapons and clothes. Now, we all rested up and found a way through the door. An elevator was there. I sat down with Max once we got on the other side, because he sells armor and weapons. Now, here's what I bought, which kind of gets kind of detailed, but I'll just go through it. A 40-inch fabric belt to hold my gun holster, a clip of holsters, holsters to hold clips. Anyways, machete sheath, all fabric too, and a backpack made of fabric that could hold up to 100 pounds of ammo or whatever. A 3-point combat fabric rifle sling, 3 fully loaded 20-round UTAS XTR 12-gauge clips of 3-inch slugs, 1 fabric 4-clip, I don't know how you pronounce this, CAIRASSES attachment where I put my 4 pistol clips, 5 fully loaded 12-round 6 Sawyer P226 Legion pistol clips, MG rounds, 3 boxes of 357 MG pistol rounds, 1 tactical communications earpiece with radio, and of course the P226 Legion pistol and UTAS XTR shotgun, and my machete. Now, Max instructed me on a few things, and I did some target practice so that I could actually fire the weapons I just bought. I also found out that Charlie hid in a car during the whole fight with the bears, so I didn't think he could be trusted. Indy is trustworthy. Well, we got situated and went down the elevator to level 1. Now, here's the layout from what I can remember. And why I say I can remember is because originally this was all a game. So most of this story is actually took place. Like, these were actual people with, these are the names. These aren't their real names, but this is what they call themselves. So this was the actual layout from memory. Anyways. So Max went to Human Resources to find a job. A job? They know who we are, right? So eventually we all got jobs. So what was going on above us was kind of like the contest, and then this is like more realistic. So I was hired on as maintenance. Max, Sin, and Chang and Indy were hired as security guards. Scott and Teddy got jobs to take care of the dogs. Matt was sent to medical. Plex was security also. Charlie refused to get a job because he's a lazy bum. Rick was hired for computers. But on his way to work, Rick flirted with a scientist while still holding his machete. No weapons are allowed in the compound. He refused to give it up and was arrested and sent to security. Now, a scientist named Boris, along with his wife, got Rick out of jail and brought him to their apartment. They drugged him and tied him to a chair, stripped off his clothes down to his boxers, and he was placed in a safe room. What I didn't know up until now was that Rick is gay, and his lover is Teddy Jones, an African American. Everyone had to turn in their weapons to the depository. When Rick never showed up, Teddy got worried. Scott never turned in his weapons either, but he went straight to work. Now, while I was getting my tools for the maintenance job, Plex busted into someone's apartment and left. When the owner came home, her door was busted down, and I was sent to fix it. Her name was Rose, and she was a scientist. So while I was getting my tools for the maintenance job, Plex busted in someone's apartment and left. When the owner came home, her door was busted down. I was sent to repair it. She was a scientist named Rose. I called for maintenance 20 minutes ago, said Rose. I had to be issued tools. I'm Cube. What do you do here? Are you a contestant too? Heavens no, I'm a scientist. Oh, what do you do here? Genetics, but that's top secret. Well, from what I've seen, your secret's out, and it's killing people. You've seen the experiments? She said, not referring to the zombies, but something else entirely. They are dangerous. You bet they are. My name is Rose. I need to get to work. I should be done shortly. Thank you. I get off work around 5 p.m. if you'd like to stop by later. Yeah, I'd like that. See you then. Okay. So most of the scientists live on this floor, as well as Bianca and Dimitris. Dimitris and the scientists were at odds with each other. He sent Chang to stake out the plants in the garden. I don't know what that means, but that's what he says. But Chang couldn't get inside and called maintenance to open the door. But by the time I finished my other job and got there, no one was there. But on the way there, Boris and his wife were being confronted at their apartment by Teddy Jones and Scott, who left their job looking for Rick. Security was called, and Sin and another guard arrested Teddy and put him in jail. Also, Charlie had gotten into trouble and was also arrested. Sin introduced me to Derek, the contestant from Group A. Teddy was eventually released from jail. He, Sin, Plex, and I were talking to Derek when a scientist's wife came out of her apartment. She'd been doing some experimental drugs to get high and was projectile vomiting. They called medical and security and were escorting her to medbay when Scott intervened because she had attacked a nurse. Scott shot her in the head and killed her. Security fought Scott. Alarms sounded and the floor was on lockdown. All the dog cages opened as between 12 and 20 dogs came rushing down the hall. Plex and Sin went out into the hallway. Matt and Chang, along with Indy, Quincy, and Max, were on their way over to the depository to retrieve their weapons. Also, Dimitris and Bianca came out of the security office, and a firefight ensued. I stayed inside Dimitris' apartment and told Teddy it was safer to stay here, but he didn't listen. He went out in the hallway. So I decided to talk to Derek. So, Derek, what do you think of this place? It's great. I can eat whatever I want, go swimming, go to the club, party all night, and drink. I sleep all day. They have a clothing store, an electronics store. My apartment here has movies and an Xbox, and I have a computer and the internet. There's a strip club on level 3, and I know some of the girls like Irene and Candace. There's also a restaurant where Mindy and Alex work. It's a great place to live. How did you get here? I was a contestant, but I never found out what the game was. Oh, yeah, the game. I know, the zombies are part of the game. Zombies? You've got to be joking. I'm not joking. I spent the last 48 hours fighting zombies and monsters. They are very real. I wouldn't be surprised if that was what all the fighting is about out in the hall right now. I can't help out because all my weapons are locked up in the depository. All I have are my maintenance tools. Have you been taking drugs? Look, you seem okay. If you want to crash here until you find your own place, you can. But I don't want to hear anything without proof. Sounds like the fighting stopped. I'll go check it out. I opened the door, and all the guards were dead. There were 2 giant gorillas dead on the ground, next to some dogs. At the other end was Dimitris and Bianca. They were both dead. I stripped the guards of his guns, which were 2 pistols. One needed to be repaired, and also grabbed the van brace off his arm. I turned it on. This is Derek. Anyone there? Derek, this is Maximus. If you want some loot, come over to Dimitris' apartment. The door is open. There's a map on the van brace. So, Anyways, Derek. Somebody else was calling me. Derek, I just got a job and was told to contact somebody I trusted. This was Plex. We need to find a guy named Gilbert. He's gone missing, If we find him, Gabriella will pay us $1 million to split. That's $500,000 each. Got it. Max and the others are looting Demetrius's place. Okay, I'll be there shortly. During the fighting, they'd freed Charlie, and he was there too. I walked in and they had opened 2 safes in an armored closet. There was more there than any of us, or all of us, could possibly carry. I picked up a new van brace and put it on my other arm, plus security clearance and a combat knife. Plex came in and got some stuff. We started going. At this point, we didn't trust anybody, so we started going door to door, gathering information, and then killing off the scientists. More security was called. I had busted in a door, but a man had thrown a flash grenade and blinded me. The others fought off the incoming guards. We went back to the depository and gathered our weapons and armor. I now had all my stuff, plus 2 40 caliber Sig Sauer X5 classic pistols. One was fixed and one jammed. 2 van braces, one with computer access for hacking, an X-shaped backpack, plus 2 katanas. I dropped my machete and sheath. I didn't need that anymore. I also had a combat knife. At point-blank range, well, I'll skip all that, but both katanas together did a lot of damage. I took off my skull cap and put on a steel helmet, which I found, which protects my head. I pulled off my trench coat and put on a steel trench coat, steel gloves, steel pants, combat boots, and dragon scale vest. Now this stuff weighs more. I'm already 6'1" and weigh 200 pounds naked. My weapons weigh 24 pounds, armor is 89 pounds, items in my backpack 105, so it's 218 altogether. So, of weapons and stuff. So I weigh about 418 pounds. Now, thankfully I just got paid, so I have $1,189. Okay, I don't know where that is. But I can carry 233 pounds, so 218 is not too bad. I've also been working on some other things, which I'll skip for the moment. Max said I need to use my rifle more often, but for now my shotgun will do. Once we go to level 3, I heard from Derek they sell guns, but right now we're headed for level 2. On the way out, Rick was found unconscious in the hall, weaponless and no clothes. I offered him my 40 caliber pistols, but he refused. I didn't even know what had happened to him. He told me the whole story. I'm sorry, man. This is not what I expected. This whole contest seems to have been a plot to trap us as guinea pigs. Look, it's Rick. He's passed out, said Teddy. Where's his clothes? Said Indy. Rick, wake up, man, said Charlie. Huh? What happened? Hey, guys, I'm sorry. This contest is not what I was expecting it to be. They're trying to use us as guinea pigs. We've got to escape. Good. You guys escape. I've got a date with a hot nerdy chick who makes $100,000 a year. Adios, I said. I took a shower at Derek's and headed for Rose's apartment. Hello, Cube. If you don't mind, I thought we could go down a level. There's a restaurant there where we could talk over dinner. And don't worry about paying. I got food there for free as a scientist, said Rose. We ordered food and the questions began. So, who are all your new friends? Well, there's Indy, blah, blah, blah. I described everybody. And finally, Max will give you a chance to prove yourself and will help you with what you need. Well, now that you've trusted me and gave me a rundown of the new contestants, I'll help you out with whatever you need later at some point. Most of what's going on here is a contest of survival. You are all being tested for certain abilities of which I can't say because we don't know yet. That depends on if you have these abilities. We want to see if you do. I've got your ID and will keep tabs on you and your progress. There are several factions at play here. At some point you'll be given a choice of who to join up with, but that's further in the future. Who are the 3 factions? We'll just call them good, slavery, and evil. That's all I'm going to say for now. Now that we've finished eating, follow me back to the apartment. You can spend the night, but afterwards you must finish the contest and survive before we can meet again. The next day I found out Plex had been breaking into apartments and security was called.